So we're back here on the Controlled Interest Gamecast. Unfortunately, Jared had some major technical difficulties, and his computer just keeps shutting down. So we're about halfway through the show. We just wanted to go ahead and continue since we have Ian here. So next, we are going to just hop right into the topics here. Ian, go ahead and be our guest.
Sure. So something I was thinking about the other day, uh, games that you think about all the time, and pretty much always have the desire to go back in and play it some more or replay it, but you just know in your heart that you're probably never going to play it again.
Yeah.
And the kind of the disconnect there between the fervent desire to do it and the knowledge that you're never going to do it.
Uh,
For me, the game that fits this most perfectly is Dragon's Dogma, because I love that game so much, and I think about it in a weirdly high frequency. Maybe like every week or two, I think about Dragon's Dogma, and I played it on my PS3, which is in my room, and now PS4 exists. So just even playing on the PS3 feels like old timey, like slumming it to me. I don't know why, but and I thought about buying it on PC the other day, but then I thought about how much greater that game is toward the end game, and like
yeah.
once you've unlocked all the traversal or like the travel stuff and all that, and I was just like, oh god, I can't do the beginning again.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of funny that I love this game with all my heart and always want to play it, but just know that I'm never going to play it again, probably.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that because our other podcasting buddy Dominic is currently playing that game, and I think he said the story isn't. He's not in love with the story, but the gameplay is fun.
Oh, the story is insanity. It the story's like, I don't want to say it's garbage because it's so weird that it makes it kind of fun.
Yeah,
But yeah, the story is bananas. There are huge parts of it, and characters basically might as well just be boards with googly eyes on them. But like, the story is there enough that it sets up a crazy gameplay shift twist kind of thing. It's reminiscent of I don't know if you played it at all, but I won't spoil it. But it feels like the inverted castle almost, where it's just like.
Yeah.
Stuff happens and you're just like, whoa,
Yeah.
like I did not see that coming. But yeah, I mean, the thing of that is the gameplay. The game plays amazingly. It's really exciting. The combat is bananas, and it's very exciting. And it's a very old school game where, like, it's open world and you just have to walk there.
wow.
Most of the time, like, you just have to walk over there. I mean, I think on the PlayStation 3 version, I wound up, you do get things called fairy stones. Eventually they let you teleport, but they're consumable and
Ooh.
pretty expensive. And the way to play that game, I don't know if it's like this on the PC version, but the way I played it was I played it on PS3, and then Dark Arisen came out, and if you had the vanilla game and bought Dark Arisen, you got an eternal fairy stone, like a item that didn't go away.
You got actual fast travel.
Yeah. So basically, if you already played the game and then got Dark Arisen, they gave you fast travel as a gift.
That's jacked up.
And that's the way to play that game. Like, so I don't know if the PC has that. I hope it does. But oh man, that game would be insane without it.
Wow.
But like, the coolest thing about that game is wandering from point A to point B and just getting into all kinds of crazy situations that you sometimes can't handle. Like, sometimes there's a big dude that's just there, way over leveled, and you're just like, oh well.
So for me, I'm trying to think of some games that I would say I'm probably never getting back to, but at the same time, I have to say I'm kind of a different gamer in that sense. Really, like, people talk about I don't know if you've ever seen the meme of Gandalf, where it's like going back to an RPG that you've been away from, and he's like, I don't remember any of this.
Yeah.
It's like none of this is in my memory.
Right.
And for me, I'm kind of the opposite of most people, I guess, because I mean, if it's been 6 months or a year where I haven't played a game that I was really into, a lot of times I can just jump back into it, and I kind of give myself some leeway to say, like, okay, this first time that I'm jumping back in, I may play for an hour or two, but really
Yeah.
I'm just like reacclimating myself, trying to figure out where the story was, and like just getting back in the groove instead of trying to just go back in full force. And that seems to help me a lot because I'm able to just come back in and not have any pressure. Um,
Yeah.
so there's a couple games. One, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. That's one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
My favorite handheld game. And so when it came to PS3, I tried to replay it and then just got away from it and didn't really go back. And then I sold the game and then eventually picked it up again once it was even cheaper and played it again and now have stopped again. But they've announced this Kingdom Hearts 2.8 final chapter prologue, which is the full title. And basically, that is another remaster, and then prologue for Kingdom Hearts 3, and then another thing. But really, the point is that it's called 2.8, and that's really weird because 1.5 and 2.5 were the remasters on the PS3, and then this is 2.8, and then you have 3, and then of course, in between 2.8 and 3 is 2.9. So I am just about convinced that 2.9 is going to be coming out next year, and it's going to be 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8 all remastered for PS4, maybe
Ah.
Xbox. And so I'm like, do I really want to go through this remaster of Birth by Sleep on the PS3, or should I just wait? It's like I'm teetering. So I guess that's a good example for me, just because I want to go back to that game. It's one of my favorite games, and I want to replay it before Kingdom Hearts 3. But why would they call it 2.8 and
Right.
then have 3? Like, why wouldn't it be 2.9 already? So
Yeah.
um, I'm kind of just banking on the fact that I'll be able to go back to it on PS4 and not have to turn on my slumming PS3, as you called it. um, and then let me think here. So I'm actually pretty down with playing old games. I actually play my PS3 a decent a bit, even though
Yeah.
I have a PS4 and an Xbox One. Um, but I've been trying to get the original Borderlands Platinum forever, and I've gone all the way through the main game, and now I'm on the DLC packs, and I need one more trophy. I have to get to level 50. I'm at like level 45. But at this point in the game, like it's just so slow leveling up, and so
Yeah.
even if I beat the rest of the DLC packs, I'm not even sure that I'll get to 50. I might even have to like do a new game plus or something like that. So that game is just like at this point it's just a slog, and so
Yeah.
that I would
Platinuming
say
that sounds hard.
exactly. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm one trophy away. I just need the level 50 trophy, but just the amount of experience points I'm getting is kind of ridiculous. So I would say that's at the top of the list for me.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny too. Sort of like a sister question to this is like games that you think about and in your memory you love them,
Yeah.
but then you play them again and like you're like, oh, my memory was kind
Yeah, too
to
kind.
this game.
Yes.
Like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for that one, like whenever I play the Ratchet and Clank remasters or the Jack and Daxter remasters, like
Yeah.
those are some of my favorite PS2 games, and I go back and it's like, first of all, they seem like kid games, and then I play them now and I'm like, this is kind of hard. Like I don't know
Yeah.
how I beat this as a kid. It's tough for me now as an adult. How the hell did I even do this? So, um,
Tenacious and a lot of time,
yeah,
probably.
yeah, and when you're a kid, you don't have all the money in the world, but you do have all the
Yeah.
time, so you can just kind of like almost waste time on one single game and just methodically go through it. But yeah, that is a,
Yeah.
a nice sister question.
I thought of a few more like this where uh I always wanted to replay Xenogears, and I want to replay Vagrant Story,
Okay.
like those old Square Enix ones. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, or just Square, I think at the time. But
Right.
like, yeah, it's never gonna happen.
So yeah, I guess kind of branching off of that, You mentioned not loving going back to your PS3. Do you have a tough time going back and playing older games?
Not really. It's weird, right? Because Symphony of the Night is one of my favorite games, and I really
Mm.
love the Suikoden games and stuff like that. So going back to older games, I mean, I just love sprite-based
Yeah,
games. Um, and I mean, to me, I think those games are timeless because the look, they look exactly the same as they always have
yeah,
because it was like an art choice, you know.
right.
Um, Whereas going back to something like that looked cutting edge at the time, uh, but is a system or two back,
The
it
polygonal
looks,
stuff like on
yeah, it just
PS1.
looks so weird
Yeah.
and yeah, muddy and it's like, I do really want to replay Dino Crisis right now though,
Okay.
but I think that might be old enough. You know, I guess what I'm saying is like there's a one system, like memory, like a psychological block that I have, and this is just a me thing, I think, but uh, where like one system back it feels super old, but then like if I played a PS2 game right now, I'd be like, yeah, you know?
Huh. Wow. That's a really interesting point. Yeah, because yeah, like PS3 or 360 feels so old, but then you go
Yeah,
back like 10 years before that, and you're like, yeah, this is pretty good.
yeah, you're like memories. I love this.
Nostalgia.
Which I mean, that's why they keep making all these remasters, right? So that
Yeah.
you get best of all the worlds.
Well, the remasters and like how many indie games are just emulating the 90s right
Right.
now? You know,
Yeah, for sure.
how many
Like
indie
all of
games
them.
could run on a PlayStation 1?
Yeah, I
Um,
wonder.